Welcome to the North State Breakdown Agenda Preview with Benjamin Nguyen. Today we're looking at the January 28th, 2025 Shasta County Board Agenda. This will be the third meeting of the year with Supervisors Corky Harmon, District 3, Matt Plummer, District 4, and Alan Long, District 2, as part of the new board makeup. Let's break down what's on the agenda this week. R1, County Updates and Legislative Platform. The County Executive Officer will update the board on the current county issues and present potential legislative actions. Supervisors will also report on their recent activities and countywide matters. R2, Climate Engineering Presentation. Chair Kevin Cry is sponsoring a presentation by Dane Wigington on climate engineering and its alleged environmental impacts. This presentation has been met with significant controversy. Wigington, who previously addressed the board back in 2014, is known for promoting theories about geoengineering that many experts and scientific organizations have debunked. I plan to produce a dedicated episode of the North State Breakdown this week, providing an in-depth exploration of this topic and addressing the claims made by Wigington, as well as the implications for the community. His documentary, The Dimming, alleges large-scale environmental manipulation through covert government programs, a claim widely criticized for lacking credible evidence. This item will likely spark heated debate and public input. While some residents may see this as an opportunity to explore environmental concerns, others fear it could amplify unverified claims and distract from evidence-based environmental initiatives. The board's decision to host the presentation raises questions about the balance between free speech and the responsibility to prioritize factual, scientifically supported information in public discourse. R3, Shasta Mosquito and Vector Control District Appointment. The board will consider 3 applicants, Philip Kramer, Richard Gallardo, and Ted Liddy, for a seat on the Mosquito and Vector Control District Board. This item has already been postponed once, allegedly to gather more applicants. As discussed in my previous agenda preview, Richard Gallardo's candidacy has been particularly contentious due to allegations of violence, threats, and slander in the past, raising serious questions about his suitability for public office. Ted Liddy, another candidate, is a firearms instructor with no clear experience in mosquito or vector control. Liddy's potential appointment is interesting, given his recent attendance at a private meeting hosted by Chair Cry. The meeting, which Cry claimed was held in the capacity as a private citizen, this meeting focused on public safety issues but excluded the general public.
As a reminder, you can always go to my website, and tomorrow I do have that. I'm not going to call it a town hall because I have a private meeting, and what I've learned in this process when it comes to insurance and what you can do as an elected official and as a private individual, and how you can basically do these things. If it's county sponsored, it has to be county sponsored. If it's me as a private individual, I just have to do it that way. So if you want to register for my meeting tomorrow night, it's go to votekevincry.com. You could register for it. You'll get an email confirmation, and it's going to be very limited, 50 to 75 people, and it's a small room. But we're going to be talking about everything criminal justice and the various entities that play into that.
As a side note, this meeting may have potentially violated the Brown Act despite Cry's disclaimer. The Brown Act requires open access to discussions about public matters. Now back to R3. Philip Kramer, by contrast, brings years of experience in public service, making the decision to delay his potential appointment and solicit additional applicants highly questionable. The delay was potentially orchestrated to pave the way for less qualified candidates, such as Liddy, who may align with the current board majority's ideologies. This trend of favoring political loyalty over qualifications continues to spark significant public concern about the integrity and priorities of this board. Next up is R4, the Shasta County Elections Commission appointment. Patty Plum is up for reappointment to the Elections Commission for a 4-year term. Plum has been a vocal figure in the election denialism movement within Shasta County, advocating unproven claims about voter fraud and inaccuracies in voter rolls. She has also been seen actively protesting outside the elections office during recent elections, holding signs questioning the legitimacy of the electoral process. These actions have raised concerns about her objectivity and suitability to serve in the Elections Commission. Adding to the controversy, Plum is a known member of the New California movement, a group advocating for the secession of parts of California to form a new state. It would seem that her allegiance to this movement could conflict with her responsibilities to the state and its existing electoral integrity. Plum was originally appointed by former Supervisor Patrick Jones, whose term ended in December of 2024. It remains unclear who is currently championing her reappointment, but it is suspected that Supervisor Corky Harmon, a newcomer to the board, may have taken this action as one of his first significant moves. Plum's reappointment would continue to fuel concerns about the Commission's focus and direction. R5. Election Commission's Actions Report. The board will review the accomplishments and expenditures of the Shasta County Elections Commission, which has reportedly spent over $50,000 investigating baseless election fraud claims. Over the past year, the Commission's efforts have largely focused on pursuing unproven allegations about inaccuracies in voter rolls and potential election fraud. This has drawn criticism for being an inefficient use of the county's resources at a time when financial accountability is critical. Supervisor Plummer's sponsorship of the item suggests a growing interest in evaluating the Commission's productivity and fiscal impact. This discussion may provide a clear report card on what the Commission has achieved relative to its cost. With the county facing broader financial challenges, the board will likely consider whether the Elections Commission should be potentially disbanded or whether a reorganization is necessary to better serve the community. R6. Ad Hoc Committee on Homelessness. The board will appoint one supervisor to the Ad Hoc At-Home Steering Committee, which collaborates with local cities to address homelessness. The committee plays a crucial role in coordinating resources like Proposition 1 funds or the recent opioid litigation funds, creating a roadmap to how these funds will be used towards addressing homelessness and mental health issues across Shasta County. The At-Home Steering Committee brings together leaders from the County of Shasta, the City of Redding, the City of Anderson, and Shasta Lake to coordinate efforts and allocate funding efficiently. These meetings often go into detailed discussions about allocations and uses of resources, and they're vital for shaping policies aimed at reducing homelessness and improving mental health services. It will be significant to see who else is appointed. The new representatives' decisions and participation could directly influence the county's approach to these critical issues moving forward. Next up is the public comment period. The public is engaged to voice their concerns on any item within the board's jurisdiction or topics not listed on the agenda. The period represents one of the most direct opportunities that residents have to communicate with their elected officials. Unless a specific change to the speaking time is made by Chair Cry, as he has done in recent months, speakers are typically given 3 minutes to address the board, and while supervisors cannot act on non-agenda items, they can refer issues to the staff for follow-up. Now moving on to consent calendar highlights. C1 is a resolution to remain under Uniform Construction Accounting Procedures, allowing Department of Public Works to manage small projects up to $75,000. C2 is the approval of board chair assignments and liaison rules for 2025, which will define how supervisors interact with various committees and agencies. C3, the appointment of Ray Von Diest to the Shasta County Public Library Citizen Advisory Committee. C5 through C8 are approval of agreements for mental health services, including amendments to the Right Education Services, and a renewal agreement with Kingsview for wellness and recovery services. C11 and C12 are introduction of ordinances establishing no parking zones on 44 Drive and Old Oregon Trail. Next up is closed session. The board will discuss ongoing legal matters in closed session outside of the public view. If any reportable actions result from these sessions, they will be disclosed at the end of the meeting. Here are some of the cases mentioned. R7, County of Shasta et al. Versus California Energy Commission. California Land Stewardship LLC versus County of Shasta and its Board of Supervisors. Locke et al. Versus Stanberg et al. And Wellpath Holdings bankruptcy. This item was a late entry to the agenda and involves a bankruptcy case from Wellpath Holdings, a company that provides healthcare services to correctional facilities and treatment centers. Wellpath filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in November of 2024, and this case may impact the county's contracts or obligations related to inmate healthcare services. As I always like to say, it's vital to remain engaged and to hold local leaders accountable. The meeting is at 1450 Court Street at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, January 28th. Participating in local governance is one of the most effective ways to ensure your voice is heard and your concerns are addressed. You can email the board with your questions, comments, or concerns at shastacountybos@shastacounty.gov. Attending the meeting in person allows you to speak directly during public comment or observe the decision-making process firsthand. Shasta County's future is shaped by the community's involvement. Whether you choose to send an email, speak at a meeting, or simply stay informed, your participation makes a difference. Let's work together to promote transparency and accountability in our local government. And that's the agenda preview.